Ramble.
Shout out to Warby Parker, ZipRecruiter, and Audible.com for sponsoring today's episode.
Welcome to the TryPod, the official podcast of the Try Guys. You got all four of your Try boys right here. You got Ned, you got Keith, you got Eugene, you got Zach. We try stuff, you know. At this point, you know the drill. And today we're talking about a lot of stuff. We're in between the tour. We're about to go back on the road. Zach's head has been fixed finally. After many years of a broken head, his head is new and amazing.
I've overcome broken head syndrome.
And now we're trying to fix some of our broken rooms in our lives. We have a lot of things that are getting fixed.
You know, we also are trying to, I'm doing a little try today because Miles, who runs the podcast, is out. So I've got all the little dials on my lap. I'm going to be mixing the sound. Haven't done this in a long time.
Zach,
so
now you are the podcast gremlin.
I am the podcast gremlin.
What an honor.
These guys also always give me shit because way back when we first started making videos together, when we worked at a company called BuzzFeed, I was hired as a different level than them. So
Zach was hired at a level above the three of us.
Yes, he came in with a promotion day one.
As a result, they got saddled with more of what we call bitch work than I did. But they all were trained and had to learn how to use this H6 handy recorder.
Yes, we make fun of Zach because of that bitch work, you might call it. You might also call it, we have a greater technical proficiency in basic audio equipment.
In audio equipment, yes. That is the one thing that I willingly skipped over. So, but today I'm going to make up for it.
So why are you the one running the sound equipment?
Because it's my time. It's my time to make up. And after today, when you listen to this podcast and you go, oh, shit. The boys have never sounded crisper.
Wow.
They never sounded cleaner. We can put this to rest once and for all.
Do you have compression on all of our mics?
Fuck if I know. I just turned it on and hit record, baby. Let's do this. But first up, you've rated us 5 stars in the iTunes store. You gave us some secrets. We're going to read them. Eugene, you've got a dog on your lap. That's perfect for some secrets. Hit us up, baby boy.
This is titled Middle School Secret by
Roger Steen.
So, they say Winter Boo Bear's secret. When I was in middle school, from 2009 to 2012.
Oh, no, the person requested the name Winter Boo Bear.
Oh, Roger Stein. People, stop requesting your funny names.
Well, I like Winter Boo Bear.
That's fine. But
Winter Boo Bear Roger Stein.
Okay.
So when Winter Boo Bear was in middle school from 2009 to 2012, I hated that my parents made me bring lunches to school when all I wanted was to be lazy and buy lunches. My mom always keeps her purse in the same spot next to the kitchen, so when my parents weren't in the room, I would take money out of her wallet to use for school lunches. Over the years, I probably took over $150, as she never noticed. To add to the drama, the 2 lunch ladies at my school were close family friends, and I was always terrified it would come up somehow and I would get in trouble. But in the past 2 years, both of them have passed away, so my secret was literally taken to the grave. Besides this...
Wait, was it the lunch people were taking to the...
Yeah.
I'm assuming the 2 lunch ladies.
Okay,
yeah.
all right,
Wow.
right on.
Besides this, I was very by the rules.
Yeah, conspiracy.
I was very by the rules and never even turned in homework late. This is by far the most rebellious I have ever been, and since the only other people who knew about it are dead.
Oh.
And now us.
You know,
Does that mean we're marked for dead now?
Oh,
I feel like there's
no.
a conspiracy
well,
where
all
Roger
of you,
Steen's-
all the listeners are also marked for dead.
Shit. Watch your back.
Now you're going to run into this sooner than I will because you have a child now, but I've already realized, like, if I had a kid and I had cash in my wallet and he took like $2, I wouldn't know. Like,
No. I would never know.
I don't.
$2 would be a lot of money to a middle
child.
school,
Yeah.
elementary school kid.
I would never notice. You could take $5 from me, and I'd probably be like, I must have bought something with that $5. What did I buy? I don't know. Well,
What I'm curious about, and I'm trying to remember, is that like school lunches cost what? Somewhere between $6 and $10. I feel like they overcharge.
$6
No,
and $10.
no, they're
Mine cost
cheap.
$1.50
They're usually
to
like
$3.
subsidized a little bit.
Oh, in my high school, they were not subsidized.
Oh,
There was
well, Scarsdale.
There you go. Yeah,
Carthage.
They knew that you could. Okay, because I was gonna say $150 is like that's like 15 lunch. It's 20
It's
lunches.
a whole year.
I feel like Lucille Bluth right now. How much could a banana cost? $10. Michael?
Oh, they're super cheap. Yeah.
Shit,
What
I
I
have
thought
no
was
memory.
funny about this story was that the school lunches were so desirable that they were worth stealing money for.
Yeah.
For my school, the school lunches were not that great. Like everyone would bring lunch because the actual school lunches were kind of like, oh crap, I forgot my lunch today. I have to buy a taco bowl.
So I
taco bowls.
I resonate with this viewer because it sounds like this listener had to make their own lunch
Yeah,
probably from
that's
an
what I'm
early age,
guessing.
and I did too, and I hated it. Also, like I didn't have cooking skills, so I could only make like really piss poor lunch.
but
I
now
think
you're
the
an
mother-
amazing chef.
Now I am.
Do you
but
think that
No.
this helped you
no, because I immediately
get cooking skills?
I begged my mom, just give me the $1.25 to buy lunch because I'm not good at this.
Do you guys remember the milk in a pouch that you would stab
No.
with a straw?
I only had the carton that you had to
You
open
didn't
that
have
certain
pouch
way.
milk?
It was like Capri Sun, but milk.
Yeah, it was just like a square bag of milk. It didn't really have a top or a bottom. It was just a square. And you would just stab it with a straw, and it was very satisfying.
That sounds great.
And
Did it have the same like stupid cow jokes or stupid like nutrition facts that were like that had little cartoons?
It looked like
Emma,
it came
please.
straight from a factory. Like it was just like I believe all it said was like milk.
Eugene, what was your story?
Oh, not a story. I think her mom made her lunch. This secret holder.
So her
It's-
mom's just a really shitty
No,
cook.
because she said I wanted to be lazy and just get the lunch from school. That to me,
yeah, I agree with.
I think she
Keith's
literally
reading.
said the mother makes my lunch.
I could go
Yeah.
back, but we're not going to. We're just
You
going to have to
listener
live.
can rewind
We're just
and
going to have to
find
live.
out.
The laziness is, I think, actually just bringing it to school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What?
One time
Wow.
I opened a box of raisins at school and it was full of ants and I was mortified.
Whoa, that's horrifying.
I thought that reflected on me that like, oh, I'm such a horrible person that I mistook a box of ants for raisins. But no, it was just that somehow ants had gotten into my raisins.
Definitely forgot a lunch in my locker one time, and it got infested.
I do have a classic growing up in America, fresh off the boat story, where one of the first lunches my mom packed me, she put kimchi in it. And I got made fun of so much.
Oh,
yeah, I mean,
because
that's
they
it's
were
pungent.
like, and I mean, it really isn't that pungent though. It's
To a
pungent to
child.
people who never smelled it.
Yeah.
Because now when you walk in a Korean restaurant, you're like, oh, it's kimchi. But the same thing can be said about like any sort of strong smelling food from any culture.
Like a fish
it's just they've
restaurant or
never
anything.
seen it.
Yeah.
Well, it is. Yeah, by the
Not
way,
worth beating
love
up a kid
kimchi.
over. Yeah.
Oh well, now you made it sadder.
Well,
It is
I
just-
mean, you know,
I
it
was
was-
gonna debate the merits of kimchi. It smells strongly. We're not gonna deny that.
No, yeah, it has a strong smell, but I take offense to when people say that and also imply that it's bad.
No, it's delicious.
Which is,
It's
I
the
think,
greatest.
where
It's
most
amazing.
of the kids came from was you're stinky Asian, go back where you came from.
Oh,
was kind
no.
of the idea. But that's where
Oh no!
why
I
we
need to
get.
wait. You peaked. I got to make you a little quieter. Okay, one more time, Eugene.
Oh boy.
Say
Oh,
but.
so you're a stinky Asian, go back where you came from.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Again?
Nailed
Okay.
it. Nailed it.
Oh my god.
And that's why we take offense to Trump's recent comments.
God, he's really going for it these days.
Yeah,
Huh?
Yeah,
that's
he's
kind of like the literally.
unabashedly awful.
But that's like
Whoa,
the
I
one
think
thing
he
you learn
lowered
in
me, Zach.
elementary school is that is the taunt you tell someone when you don't understand them. It's like the most debased way
Yeah.
to tell someone I am racist and I this is the first thing I think I can think of.
Did you guys ever do the old chicken nugget bounce test?
What's the chicken nugget bounce test?
Oh, it's just this guy. Every school was convinced that they put a little bit of rubber into their chicken nuggets, and so everyone would go and they would prove it by making them bounce. But as an adult, I realized that objects just bounce.
Yes, sometimes objects have
They just have a
natural
little bit of bounce.
elasticity.
It was like a conspiracy theory that everyone was convinced of, and everyone had some older brother that had like the inside scoop that they were putting rubber into our chicken.
But rocks
you got
bounce.
chicken nuggets for your school lunches?
I had that since I had that
Oh
pre.
man,
We had chicken
I'd
nuggets.
steal all my mom's money.
Chicken
for
rings.
nuggets.
Do you have chicken
Chicken
rings?
rings? No.
So there were many different shapes the chicken could arrive. It could be a nugget. It could be a ring. Tender was always, or strips were always the best. Rings were good because you could take the rings and put them in your roll and put mashed potatoes on your roll and have a chicken ring mashed potato sandwich.
You ever think about how depraved and wild it is that we mash chicken in the shape of dinosaurs? Because like they were once like the kings
Chickens.
of this planet.
And they were
and then and then they became little stupid chickens, and now we grind their bodies and mash them into the shapes of their ancestors, and we
to
eat them.
honor them.
To feed them to our infants.
Yes.
I think that's what. So when the alien overlords take over, they should mash our bodies up into the shapes of
monkeys.
apes.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
And they call them people nuggets.
People nuggets.
There you go.
Human nugs.
They'll
Human
probably have
nugs.
some sort of other language.
Speaking of insane foods, I got a news item for you.
Oh, shoot.
That's right, because Miles is gone. Your gremlin boy over here is going to be popping out the news. Buckle the fuck up. I don't know if you guys heard this, but Arby's has an answer to plant-based meat. They made...
Meat-based meat.
No,
Oh.
meat-based vegetables. So
They're
everyone
gross.
else
They're so gross.
is doing
No
like
way.
the Impossible burger. So like Taco Bell, I think, is doing Impossible meat. Arby's is doing a carrot made out of turkey meat. So
The
it's called...
improbable veggie.
They've called it the Merit. And that's about as far as I got in reading about it, because I feel like I know everything there is to know.
Well, is it sold at their stores, or is it just a like a publicity stunt for a hot
I
second?
think it's, well, I mean, certainly both. I think it's being sold. Oh, Arby's, I'm on the New York Times. Arby's insists that its Merit is not a stunt, or at least not entirely.
Yeah, it's definitely a
That's definitely a stunt.
Definitely a stunt.
He says he's putting it at 50-50 stunt, 50-50 joke, 50-50 legit. I mean, I like turkey, and I like seasoning, so...
I mean, weirdly, that's probably healthier than the other stuff on the Arby's menu.
So actually, we've got an Eat the Menu Arby's coming out.
What is Eat the
Ooh.
Menu for those who don't know?
Whoa.
If you don't know, Eat the Menu is a show I do where I buy one of everything on the menu, I eat at least one bite of it, and I review the entire menu in one sitting, much to the demise of my own health. But to the fortune of you to know what is the single best and single worst item from these places. So if you're ever in a food desert and you must eat Arby's, here is the one thing I think is the best choice for the price.
And what is?
I'm not going to spoil it.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? I'm going to advertise it and then just tell you, and you're not going to have to sit through my pain?
Well,
you
I
got
feel
to sit
like-
through my pain.
I feel like you got to film a pickup and get that Merit.
I know. I'm thinking about doing an entire new item roundup, and I go to all the fast food places I've eaten the menu of, and I just hit those few new items that have spurned up since, and it's sort of a little roundup, little ketchup, maybe a ketchup. Eat the Menu ketchup, because ketchup is a condiment found in many of these menus.
You're just gonna suck on ketchup packets?
No, I'm just gonna call it the Eat the Menu ketchup.
Oh,
but I'll
got
call
it.
it like ketchup.
I literally thought you were just gonna eat every
Yeah.
ketchup in the world.
Eat the Menu catsup episode.
What is the difference between catsup and ketchup?
I think it's British.
I think it's the order
No.
of the dominant ingredient. Like,
What?
I think it was like that. There's
I thought ketchup was the real word and ketchup was the brand,
brand?
and we all just started calling it ketchup. It's
No,
not
there's no
actually
Will you
brand of
Google that?
ketchup.
I think this is very
Well,
important information.
you know
brand
what?
is Heinz and Hunt's.
No, but
And I'm a Hunt's boy.
I
Sorry,
think
Heinz.
ketchup's a fake word that like ketchup is the actual. What did you think? You were gonna say something. You had a real answer.
I thought catsup was British and ketchup was American.
I thought that the proportions of the ingredients are different.
All right, audience.
Don't you
make
guys
your
miss
decision.
living like when you used to not know something? You
Yeah.
would just all dinner. You'd be like, "We'll just not know," and then
Argue about it all afternoon.
and continue to argue about it. But now we can settle this, or we could continue to live in this beautiful place of unknowing.
I
You
just
know-
want to know what a meat-based vegetable is.
I wanna know.
I mean, how do you even? Does it taste like a
Does it-
vegetable?
Yeah, you think it has that
Does it
crunch?
have a crunch?
It must be like a slow cooked carrot, right? Like that kind of consistency.
Oh, it still tastes like a beef stew, though.
Ooh, but I mean, yes, it wouldn't taste like a carrot, but it would taste good.
Like, what is vegetable flavoring?
I want
like
to know about this ketchup. We can't just leave. He's
Yeah,
got
he's-
got the
well, he
info
needs
right
time
here.
to Google
so
it.
listen,
He's got it.
Guess
Okay.
what? Ketchup and catsup are simply two different spellings of the same thing.
Boom.
Wow.
Now,
Whoa.
here's the most interesting
Wait,
fact.
is one of them British?
It's a westernized version of condiment that European traders were introduced to while visiting the Far East. Ketchup is from Asia.
Yeah,
Ketchup
I
is
believe that.
Asian?
Which I
That
guess is
makes
most
sense.
spice or any flavor
Yeah,
comes
yeah. All the good
literally from
stuff.
any flavoring comes from Asia. We should learn that from
It's also
history.
Marco.
It's vinegar, salt,
Hello?
and tomato.
That's true.
and
yeah.
sugar. So like vinegars were definitely like a
Very
huge
Asia
Asian
heavy.
import.
Yeah, we were talking about how so much of
Got it.
of,
They're
of
expert.
world colonialization and domination was based off of Europeans' need for spice.
Yeah, like
Like, they
Arby's got the
tasted
meat,
it.
Asia's got the spice.
spice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tea and spices.
Wow, man. Next time I get ketchup, I'm going to be like, this Asian
Can you
spice
please
is so
pass my
delicious.
favorite Asian condiment? Catsup. Hiring is challenging, but there's one place you can go where hiring is simple, fast, and smart. You know what I'm talking about, Eugene?
Yep.
You know, a place where growing
Nailing it,
business...
Zach. You're nailing
A
it.
place where growing businesses connect to qualified candidates.
That place is ZipRecruiter.com/approach.
ZipRecruiter sends your job to over 100 of the web's leading job boards, but they don't stop there.
With their powerful matching technology, ZipRecruiter scans thousands of resumes to find people with the right experience and invites them to apply to your job.
I feel like we don't have the right experience for the job we're currently doing.
One of us.
As applications come in, ZipRecruiter analyzes each one and spotlights the top candidates so you never miss a great match.
Ooh, it's like getting a match made, but without sex, more with your job.
Matchmaker, find me an
a job.
employee.
Yeah. ZipRecruiter is so effective that 4 out of 5 of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within how long?
The first day.
Shit.
That's actually really fast. I'm impressed with that.
Yeah.
You know, there used to be 5 people in the TryGuys, but one of them didn't use ZipRecruiter, so we got rid of them. And right now, our listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free. At this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/approach. That's ZipRecruiter.com/approach. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
You know, there is a Korean dish where you soak the rice in ketchup and then you put like an egg omelet over it. And I always thought this was such a weird like fusion dish, but then they were always saying, no, this is Korean. So
Don't
I guess
the Philippines have
a ketchup
have a
dish too.
banana ketchup? Is
Yeah.
that where the banana
I
ketchup
just
comes
learned
from?
about this. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
because they don't have tomatoes
Is it
easily.
made out of bananas?
Yeah.
I think it
What?
still has tomato. I think that the banana replaces the other sugar in it, something like that. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this. I'm just.
Well, I'm
not
gonna
sure.
quote you
Okay,
on
quote
it.
me. Go ahead. Everybody quote me.
We were at an event and they had banana ketchup, but I didn't want the food it was served with, and then it got taken away, and I missed my shot.
Well, you're going to learn all about that probably when you go get Jollibee one of these days.
Yeah, Jollibee will be on the Eat the Menu table someday.
Do you guys all, when you're growing up, you knew the one kid who was way too obsessed with ketchup? You know what I'm talking about? Like,
oh yeah,
the one
Kids
that was
who
like
just
his.
suck down packets.
It was his identity.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah,
this
yes.
guy Ross, and he was like you. His favorite color was red, and he like made it fucking known that was his identity. Was I love ketchup and I love red.
Did
And he
that
put
kid-
ketchup in water.
Did that kid ever play Ketchup Smash?
No, what's ketchup
You
smash?
just put a full packet of ketchup on the table and you smash it, and one of you is gonna get hit. It's almost like
'cause it
roulette.
bursts out one
Oh,
direction.
it's like Russian roulette,
Yeah,
but with ketchup.
Ketchup Smash.
I'm laughing because I think that kid was me.
I think that kid might have been.
Yeah, if you don't know the kid that was obsessed with ketchup, it's you.
Well, that person also was like an unnecessary dick towards mustard. Right?
Well, mustard is
Wow.
very intense for children.
I know, but
Yeah.
when you claim one thing as a
Yes.
child, you just decide the other
Yeah.
thing associated with it is far inferior.
It's like red versus blue.
Yeah. Blue sucks, red's better.
I was that way. I did not like mustard for a
I
long
didn't like
time.
mustard, no.
It took
Oh,
a
I
long
really
time
liked
to
it.
get used to mustard.
Yeah.
Didn't like it till I was in high school.
I really liked French's hot dog mustard, and then everything switched, and I abhorred French's, and I only wanted Goulden's brown mustard.
Brown mustard.
Goulden, the
Goulden's,
finest
the
of
finest
mustard.
brown mustard. And now I'm like, I'm cool with either.
But imagine your palate just flipped at one point where you craved the cheaper, more generic thing, and then suddenly, some point, I guess kids are getting younger and younger. You want the more high quality.
Well, I don't
fancy
think it was
thing.
about quality. It was about spice. Goulden's is a spicier mustard, and when you're little, I don't think you like spice as much. But when you're an adult, you love spice.
And that is because both your taste buds change and evolve, and then as you age, they die.
What?
So you become less sensitive to flavors as you age.
Oh, it's about taste. I always thought it was that your cells totally change every 7 years, and that's part of your
That's
taste
part of it,
buds
but I believe
changing.
that your taste buds actually wane, and that's sort of why as
Wait,
you
so
age,
my taste buds are dying
they're like
right now?
not as strong. Let's,
So you need-
let's
you
find
need-
out from the old Google Pocket.
It's funny because
Taste
I
buds
always.
This episode is just us saying things confidently and then being like, "Ooh, I don't know about that."
I need to taste everything now. Let me taste the microphone.
Well, it's funny because I grew up.
it's very
I grew up
bitter.
with.
very bitter.
I grew up with so much spicy food, so I always liked spicy food. But with me, I preferred the more generic brands of things because the fancy, expensive stuff turned me off by concept. You know, I was like, I'm not going to touch Grey Poupon. That's for fancy people. I deserve whatever you just said, the basic hot dog mustard.
French's,
yeah.
God, there's so much interesting stuff about test buds.
Oh,
There's so much interesting stuff
about the test buds. About the test buds.
They're constantly changing, but between the ages of 40 and 50, the number of taste buds
40
decreases.
and 50. We're not even close.
Well, we're getting close.
Uh-oh.
I'm 8 years away from 40.
Oh, shit. You're so old.
Yeah.
Okay,
the
tell
number
me.
of taste buds decreases, and the rest begin to shrink, losing mass vital to their operation. After age 60, you may begin to lose the ability to distinguish the taste of sweet, salty, sour, and bitter foods.
Whoa.
Which means only spicy is left by that one.
Does that mean that you crave stronger tasting things, or it's all the same and you don't give a shit?
I think, probably they're weaker, so you crave stronger flavors.
We should have touched on that in the old age series. P.S. Have you guys tried out that Face App old age filter?
Oh, it's back. It's
I have not, but I've been
viral.
seeing some of you asking people on Twitter to do it for you.
I went on a little crazy Twitter moment last night.
So FaceApp went viral months, maybe a year ago. It was that app where you took a photo of yourself and then it made you a boy, made you a girl, made you old. But they've updated their AR technology and they've made it so that it's just like really convincing stuff. Okay, Eugene's gonna take a photo right now so we can see what he looks like old. If you're watching the video feed, we'll throw it in for you. But I tried to download the app and it was asking for my credit card information. I'm like, fuck this.
Oh yeah, I definitely signed up for a free trial. I gotta cancel it in 3 days, or I get charged $20.
$20 bucks.
Yeah, that's how they get you.
Whoa.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, so I just went on Twitter and I asked people to do it for me, and hilariously, a lot of people just took photos, still images from our old age series to troll us, and was like, "You already did this, you asshole." I'm like, yeah, you are right.
Really, we could have
Oh, Eugene
saved a lot of time and money on makeup.
Oh, that's great.
Whoa.
It's really good. It works really well.
Look at you.
We'll throw that in.
Wow.
You'll never look that old. I know what your dad looks
No,
like.
this is definitely when I'm like 120.
That's like 120.
But it's quite accurate though. Yeah, I
It's
would say.
really impressive.
Yeah.
Still looking good with that hat.
Dude,
The hair is
baby.
beautiful.
AR technology is getting insane. We were at VidCon this week. Ned's showing it up to the camera.
Cover it over Eugene.
Yeah, just replace me. For people watching the video, we're doing something dumb with the camera.
So we were at VidCon this past week, and there was a Snapchat lounge, and I don't know if you guys have been on Snapchat lately, but they do this thing where you can put like you remember the dancing hot dog? Everyone loves the dancing hot dog, where you can put it in space and scale it up. They were doing full 4-dimensional renders of real humans, so you could go stand and dance. And then in like a minute and a half, they had a full render of you that you could put anywhere in the world. How fucking cool is that?
Cool.
And then I was too lazy to do it.
I didn't even go to that lounge
Really?
because I don't use Snapchat, and I thought it would be. I didn't want to have a conversation.
He thought that
I also didn't go into the Cameo happy hour. I don't go into apps that I don't use. I don't want their free stuff. I don't want to talk to them. I think Cameo is crazy. They're so
tell people what Cameo is if they
they're
don't know.
aggressive. Cameo is an app and service where you, a fan, could send me, a celebrito, a message if you pay me. So, or rather, I'll send you a message. I'll be like, "Happy
the
birthday,
opposite of what you
Jamie!"
said.
But that costs like $50.
So celebrities
and
are
they
recording.
take 25%.
Oh, that's silly. It's celebrities recording custom messages of your wish. But for all of us, they are the most aggressive company I've ever encountered. I take it by the passion here, Keith, that we will never be accepting a Cameo brand deal. Because what if they come in what if they come with a lot of money and they're like, we want to get you on Cameo?
I'm kind of against the principle of directly charging your fans, but for something like that, I would rather Patreon is how we charge our fans, and we give them an inside look on how we work. We give them extra content, but I don't like saying like my birthday message is going to cost you $50. I'd rather you find me in the wild,
especially
and
when
ask me to
some
record a message for your
people
friend.
charge like $400.
Yeah,
It just feels a little too transactional.
It seems gross.
And
to me.
we're I mean, so VidCon, for those who don't know who are listening, is like the Comic-Con for YouTubers or for
Video
people
convention.
in digital content creation. That includes anyone from YouTube to TikTok, which
Oh, there was a lot of
large
TikTok.
A lot of
new
clockers
cropping
out
of
there.
young kids who are TikToking.
I just
blockers.
assumed everyone that was dressed stylish that I had no idea who they were just
TikTok.
like huge on TikTok.
Yeah, so it's a
blockers.
pretty diverse group, but it's like crazy attendance rates, and we always do these meet and greets, and we tend to be usually the longest meet and greet, regardless of the turnout, because we are 4 people that they hug, and we do hug everybody, and we also talk to you. And often, we wish we could do more video messages for people, but we generally can't because of timing there. But, if you ask us when we're just on the street, we'll do it. The favorite is usually Keith will grab your phone. He will start with his mouth very close up to the camera, and then he'll end by eating the camera. It's
Yummy.
that's the signature Try Guys message to your friend. But I agree. I think that it feels like strangely transactional, and usually I feel like the people who would actually invest in this are probably children, because I think most of the people they have signed on are those who attend places like VidCon. It's not like, Beyonce's not doing it.
No, but like a lot of people do, like there are, I think Snoop Dogg is on it and stuff like that. And I don't think those celebrities or us should be trying to make our money directly off of fan consumers in these large sums like that.
You better believe that the day I become not famous anymore, I'm paying all my bills with happy birthday messages, though.
I am done creating content for the world. I will start creating content for individuals out there.
Yeah.
I would never ask fans for money directly, which is why I would never promote my own Venmo. I have no interest in this.
Your Venmo thing is out of control.
God,
It
you
will not
have to
stop.
stop mentioning it.
That's why I'm saying I would never.
Why would I use Cameo when I could literally say, hey, if you want a birthday message, Venmo my Venmo $50 and I'll just do it, and I would keep 100% of the proceeds because all of the advertising is coming from our platforms. Why would we give them 25% of revenue? That's absurd. Cameo, I don't like you.
More like happy
I
birthday.
think
Cameo.
I think you're a nuisance and a bad thing. And now there's others. There's Camelot. There's all these other ones, and I think
Camelot.
It's bad. Yeah,
I have no opinion on Cameo, but I want to remain a neutral podcast. So just to balance the scales, Cameo, love what you're doing. I think it's an amazing service. I think the world of you. Keep emailing Keith. I think you'll get him one of these days.
So how was the rest of your VidCon?
Oh, who gives a shit? No, I'm just kidding.
I was exhausted, but I do enjoy the opportunity to like meet and perform for our
Yeah, it
fans.
was a lot, but I actually was very tired, but I liked how dense full of activity is. I feel like in other VidCons, I've had large swaths of like 6 hours where I'm just like, all right, I guess I'll take another photo at the Instagram lounge.
Well, here's one thing. We got fucked this year, if I would say so, because we were coming in from a very exhausting stretch, and this was the most packed schedule I've ever been given at VidCon. But there's one thing I look forward to. Well, no. The one thing I look forward to is hanging out and meeting the fans. But the little perk is that you get to catch up with all your YouTuber friends. It's like this weird family reunion. And the swag. There's all these little activations, and you get all this free shit. But we flew in Thursday morning. We had to wake up at 5 a.m. We got in at 8:30, and then we were packed. And I didn't have a free second until Friday. And until Saturday.
Yeah.
And by the time I got to explore, not only was all the dope swag gone, but they'd started disassembling some of the booths.
Yeah.
So I went to go take this cool Facebook photo where they had little cars. They made this little video of you. Like I was gonna have some stuff for the gram. Nothing. Gone. Dead. Done. Free food. Missing.
It was just people ripping down these beautiful indoor topiaries.
It was so sad.
And cool lights and everything. I had the same experience. I wasn't free until Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Everything was being torn down. I rushed to get a cool headshot somewhere.
Did you get one?
I did get
Nice.
one. Yes. No makeup or hairstyling, but girl,
I
don't
forget,
need it.
We're friends with the dudes
I
at
do need it. I do.
We're friends with the dudes at Dormtainment. If you don't know, they're a great sketch group. And the first day, they're like, "Oh, did you go to this booth? And they've got all this free clothes. You gotta go." I think it's all gone though. We took it all. And they took five items each.
Yeah, because we had VidCon between a Try Guys tour show Wednesday night in San Jose and then a show in San Diego Sunday night. So
And then Friday night, we were performing at VidCon.
closing out one of the biggest performances.
But we weren't doing our live show, The Legend of the Internet show, because when we had to decide whether we were going to perform at VidCon or not, we hadn't even written Legends of the Internet yet.
yeah, we didn't know what it was yet. So we decided previously, if you've seen on our channel, we've released 2 different videos that showcase what we've done at VidCon's past, where they've gotten very excited because we create these original productions that are huge and spectacle driven. So this year we went against 4 iconic queens from RuPaul's Drag Race in a lip sync battle. However, no one had produced the show, and this is the closing number of one of their biggest nights.
So Eugene produced it amidst our normal tour and all the other crazy stuff he's been working on this summer.
I produced it over the 2 weeks leading up to it.
Yeah,
And
overnight.
If you've ever tried to wrangle drag queens,
Yeah.
I love
literally
them to
showed up
death.
10 minutes before the
They
show.
they are consummate professionals, but in terms of emails, it's like catching a ghost. A fabulous ghost dressed as a beautiful woman. They are so hard to pin down. When you're with
real
them in the
hot
club, it's
ghost.
amazing, but it's so hard to get them pinned down because they're just running around a gig to gig to gig.
I think an hour before the show, there was a producer there that was like, I don't have the drag queens. The drag queens are not here.
Well,
We're like, okay.
Also, to back it up, like, we didn't really have time to prepare our lip sync, so we each were performing for 2.5 minutes. We were more or less using the hour before the show to make up our choreography and get dressed and figure out how the props would work. Eugene, you probably don't know about the struggle.
Which struggle in particular, Zach?
The
I've had many struggles.
The struggle of an eyeglasses wearer trying to find the perfect pair. It's like
I have not experienced that.
it is deciding your face. I cannot tell you how much time that I have spent trying to find the perfect pair. Warby Parker is here to help. If you don't know about Warby Parker, they have this incredible try-on program where you can order 5 pairs of glasses and then try them on for 5 days with zero obligation to buy. The shipping is free. It's got a prepaid return label, and then you get to just wear them and see what people react to. It is so cool. It makes it so easy and fun. Our listeners can go to warbyparker.com/tripod to order your free home try-ons today.
Yeah, Keith just tried this. He actually got 5 pairs of Warby Parker glasses that he was interested in looking at on his face.
Yeah.
He got the box literally this morning.
So did I. We got 2 boxes.
I looked at his and I immediately said, yes, 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 no, yes.
Yeah, he was 4 out of 5. He did
And
really well.
Yeah, and Keith is very afraid of trying new glass frames. And sometimes you just got to have the comfort of your own home and a friend to look at your face and say, yes, 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 no, yes.
They have all these different models. One of my favorite models is called the Eugene. I ordered the Eugene, and I will tell you, it just feels so right having the Eugene resting on your face.
Wow, those are very smart.
Yeah, aren't they nice looking?
Those are quite nice.
Glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses. Lenses include the anti-glare and anti-scratch coatings. That's huge because I'll tell you, with what we do, you need that anti-glare or else all your photos are going to look stupid.
Ooh, and blue light filtering lenses are also now available, so you don't hurt your eyes staring at all your screens all the time. If you have an iPhone X, you can make sure to download Warby Parker's app, where you can use the brand new virtual try-on, allowing you to try on eyeglasses, seeing the realistic color, texture, and size of each style using just your phone.
Right now, go to warbyparker.com/tripod. Get 2 that you're comfortable with, and get 3 that you're like, I could never pull off a Eugene on my face.
Gross, Zach. So if you want me on your face, go to warbyparker.com/tripod.
That's warbyparker.com/TRYPOD. And then meanwhile, we have stagehands coming to us like, hi, do you know where the drag queens are? I'm going to need you to go upstairs and help me find them right now. It's like, I can't go on a treasure hunt for drag queens. What a treasure hunt that would be.
Well,
but
it's because
I
I was the one who was, I realized at the moment, I was like, I'm basically the producer of the show.
Right.
I was the one who was constantly in contact with the queens.
The one thing we knew is that someone at the shuttle said, when we were getting on, they said, I saw some drag queens. And we're like, oh, okay, they're here somewhere.
Yeah.
But they were at a drag at that point, which if you know anything about drag, it's a lengthy process to get
And that
in.
was
that
they
scared me
saw
most.
them like an hour and a half before the show started, and I'm like, that's barely enough time to get into full drag, if it even is enough time.
But they can go fast.
They're professionals.
Yeah.
But they were there. It turned out to be a miscommunication where they were brought to the wrong place by staff. It was not a fault of their own, but they got there. They were in full drag. We gave them the rundown, and they crushed it. I mean, it's what they do. It's what they breathe.
But yeah, I had 2 nights I didn't sleep before that. So I was working on the video packages. I edited all of the video packages. And the worst part was I was also in drag. So I had 3 hours of prep in drag.
Which exhausts you, right?
I was tucked. My balls were in my body. So it sucks because in the end, my performances, same thing with the streamies that happened, the same exact thing. I always suffer. I'm like
Right.
never giving 100%. Everyone's like, oh, that was great. And I'm like, if you got me fresh and if you see what I do on the tour,
Yeah.
I can crush a stage in drag, but everything that ever gets publicized, and they'll see the video, I'm like at 40% in that performance. You can see I'm like dead in the eyes.
I'll take Eugene's 40 over
Eugene's
mine.
You guys
any
were
day.
amazing though. Everything turned out well. The show was great. Most
What's
people
funny
came
is
afterwards.
the inside information of that show is that there were like some okay acts on it, but a lot of technical errors, and there were
Oh, I
times where
didn't
the
know.
audience was left in like 3 minutes of nothing.
Oh, really?
And the host didn't go vamp. Nothing
you know,
happened.
what did happen
and
at
then
the
a
beginning
minute
of ours-
before ours, also there was like 30 seconds of nothing.
You know why?
They
Because
wouldn't listen to us.
they kept Gabby Hanna who's our good friend, was our guest announcer, host. And so we kept saying, where's Gabby supposed to be? And they're like, yes, come right this way. And she was on our side of the stage. And then right when it was about to start, Gabby's like, so where do I go on? And the person's like, oh, Gabby, you're supposed to be on the other side of the stage.
no.
And so they run her backstage across, and then they go, please welcome Gabby Hanna. And there's literally 60 full seconds of just like the intro song playing and a blank stage.
Now-
I was mortified, but also like, fuck it, what are you going to do?
And we told them she is not supposed to be with us.
Yeah.
She's
We
over
should-
there somewhere.
We should clarify, putting on live shows is really difficult. And also the fact that their team's amazing at VidCon, the great production team. The problem is that because they have essentially almost like 100 acts that they have to put together.
They're just
of
4
all
days,
of
yeah.
these people who have no time. They come in for one rehearsal before. They're piecemealing it as they go. That's how these
they're winging
events
it.
work.
They have to.
They're
There's
winging
no
it.
way
So
not
that's
to.
why they're always excited when we come, because we don't wing it. We come in with fully realized productions. And so we forgot that this year, again, we need to come in with something fully realized. And it turned out great because in the end, they were like, they know exactly when to play a video package. They knew the lighting cues are. They knew where we're
But to
supposed
our
sit.
credit, we started with a somewhat cold audience.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
were not receptive.
It took we had to use our like I basically myself and Derek had to be the ones
Warm
who
them
warmed
up,
them up.
Yeah.
And
And you did a great job.
yeah.
You know what's weird? So we've had this insane summer where our book came out and we went on a book tour, and then we've been on tour doing these crazy big shows to big audiences, things that I should be, way more nervous and emotionally invested in than this. This was like our fun. But something about this was so surreal to me. And I remember I was on stage and I whispered to Ned, am I dreaming right now? Because it was just I had not emotionally prepared for it in any way whatsoever.
or physically.
Or
prepared.
physically
Yeah, we
prepared.
didn't
or
rehearse
event.
anything on
And so
stage, yeah.
all of a sudden, I'm on stage in a wedding dress in a green robe, looking at a sea of confused children while drag queens dance in front of me, and I am trying to remember what's gonna happen next, and it was the most delirious I've ever been in front of people performing.
It was very surreal performing without any rehearsal.
And you just fucking
That's
went
the
for
first
it.
time.
I don't
is
remember it.
The time.
But you know what's
I
great?
I literally blacked out, and I have no memory of the performance to this moment.
Well,
I remember the moment I took my pants off.
we'll probably release the performance
Yeah, I would
sometime
like-
in the
I'd
next
like to
week or
watch it.
two. But what it came down to was what's fantastic, and I think part of the reason we agreed to it is that drag is being like super commodified and mainstreamed, and Lip Sync Battle, the show in itself, is a appropriation of queer culture because it's like, oh, it's funny, let's like watch celebrities do it, but drag
There's
queens
a
have been
lot of
doing
celebrities
this
in
since
soft
forever.
drag.
But what's kind of amazing is that what we gave them, and part of the reason why I thought like this was a great opportunity, is most of those kids were under bar attending age. So
Yeah.
a lot of them came up to me later and said, that was the first time I've ever seen drag queens perform in person. And we gave them 4 prolific
Amazing
drag
drag
queens.
queens.
Amazing drag
Yeah.
queens. Derek Barry, Morgan Michaels, Kamora Black, and Delta Work. We gave them a true drag show. And the drag queens were living. Because one of them later said like, oh, there are kids here.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah. And when you basically strip down with your legs open to Pussycat Dolls buttons and all the people started flipping out, that is the perfect way to introduce them to drag.
And also the drag queens were like, that was like a real stage.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
like and when you get to perform on the VidCon stage, it is great because it is
It's an arena.
basically
It's
performing
huge.
on
Got
a
neon lights.
huge, incredibly produced
It's
stage.
where the Mighty Ducks play.
Yeah.
It's
The Anaheim Ducks.
No.
The Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't just have a
Coach
crane.
Gordon and-
They have like
Are they are they not called the Mighty Ducks anymore? Are they just called the Ducks?
Oh, well, that's a nickname.
That's
Yeah.
a nickname. Yeah,
They're the
from-
Anaheim Ducks.
Were they never
Anaheim.
They're not
officially
called
called the
Anaheim,
Mighty?
Mighty
No.
Ducks.
Why
No.
not?
I think the Ducks were a
That's
fictional.
okay. Let's just
Well,
go ahead
that's-
and say that that's fucking stupid.
It's an
then.
adjective. They've never been called the Mighty
Well,
Ducks.
then that's a mistake. and we should be.
But they also you don't
wasn't
call them
the
like
movie? Weren't they not called the Mighty Ducks?
Are you
either?
not enraged?
No.
Well, it's not the terrific bulls or
That's
the
not a fun name.
incredible Jaguars.
That's
Or
not a
the-
fun name.
yeah,
It's the
the
Mighty Ducks.
Jacksonville Incredible Jaguars.
The happy,
Jacksonville Incredible Jaguars. I
Jaguars.
like it.
the happy Yankees.
They had an opportunity to win over every single person born in the 90s
There's
as a
probably
fan.
licensing issues.
Figure it out.
Why doesn't Disney just own the Anaheim Ducks? if
They
don't?
should.
They
Because
should.
it's
And
next
it's
to
so
Disney.
close
You're
to
so
Disneyland.
mad at this.
I am livid.
Well, we had a good VidCon, and I hope you enjoy watching that performance when we release it.
The last little bit of cleanup from.
Can I say that I'm proud of us? Because and especially you, Eugene. I mean, with everything that's going on, this was really hard to pull together. We didn't have a lot of time, and totally pulled it off and introduced all these kids to drag.
And I got to play the flute and hit the chute. So all in a day's work. The last little bit, though, is that we went out to dinner on the last night of VidCon to celebrate. We went out with Ian from Smosh, had a great time. And then I got food poisoning from that, or I just have a very weak body. And so the next show, the day in San Diego, I was a wreck.
I was shitting myself.
I was
for sure.
I was fine.
Really?
Yeah.
Eugene was subjected to the most voluminous
Oh my God, guys!
that anybody has
it wasn't
ever
just high volume.
It was the worst smell,
It was
the
the
loudest
worst
sound,
smelling.
and the most volume of
Oh,
any
God.
gas
You
ever
usually-
produced.
Oh,
Eugene was
God,
in the
Zach.
bathroom, and I said, "Run!" I said, "Run!" and then he stayed because he's like, "I need to experience
Yeah,
this."
I was like, I'm witnessing glory. It's a holy trinity fart.
And
You usually get one of
Right.
three. It's
Yes.
either loud,
Yeah.
it's long, or
or
it's stinky.
secretly stinky.
And
This
it was all three. And
It
he,
stung the eyes.
I just stood there going like, this is top 3 Try Guys farts.
Wow.
Top
And
3 of
that's
my life.
hard.
It
I don't
might
know
be
what
the
the
number
other
one.
two, but it was.
It was bad.
I
And
had to experience it. It was like seeing Jesus.
I was physically weak during our show in San Diego, but we did it, and everyone said it was great. So
And we got our first review.
Yeah, it
has
just
it
came out
published
today.
yet? Oh, I haven't
Yeah,
read
I
it
know. I
yet.
need to tweet it out. It's from Broadway World, the world of Broadway.
San Diego.
It was very positive, and it was great. It does a good job of like talking about what the feeling in the room is like, because I think that's like
cool.
the coolest part of the show is that the room is electric. Like from the before the show to after the show, it is just a blast, and we do a good job of pacing it so everyone gets every kind of emotion in that hour and a half.
And what was really cool is that was the first time since the first night that our significant others got to watch the show.
Yeah.
So we've, now workshopped this show for 10 shows. And they just kept saying like, wow, it flows so well. You guys really changed so much to make it. We've been having fun, kind of like with our videos too. Every show is another data point for us to kind of just tweak it a little bit, make it a little smoother. You going to read some excerpts, Ned?
Okay, this is by E.H. Ryder. The energy in the theater is incredible. People cheering,
Oh, wow.
crying, and laughing from excitement. And that's before the show has even started. When the countdown clock hits 0 and the lights go down as the music swells, the audience starts screaming at an even increased frenzy. It would be easy for the guys to count on that kind of energy and use it to coast for the rest of the show. But if they took the easy way out, would they even be the Try Guys?
Oh, damn.
Oh, wow,
I
that's
like
very
that.
nice.
That's cool. All right, we'll tweet that whole article out so that you can read it. But I'm excited to dive into
Yeah,
that.
I mean, we're gonna be doing 9 more shows through Texas, Atlanta, and the East Coast. So especially if you're in Texas, come see us.
Yeah, we fly out tomorrow. We've got 4 shows in Texas before kind of snaking up the East Coast.
Atlanta, D.C.
Boston,
Sold out?
New York, and
You
Philly.
can't come to Boston anymore. Sorry, Mr. Chance. It's sold out.
Mr. Chance.
You're gonna have to get a scalp ticket or something.
Yeah, but I'm super amped. We fly away tomorrow, and this has been our kind of. Oh, did you guys see that video that's going viral of the person on an airplane with the TV screen in front of them? It's
With
a
their
touch
foot.
screen using a foot to
Yeah.
swipe through.
I saw that.
Wow.
I kind
Goals.
of want to try it.
Wait, their own foot?
No, they're using their neighbor's foot. Yeah, their own foot.
What? No, but still, that's very.
Oh, they have a
still
foot in
very
their bag.
confusing. Wait, so are they leaning back?
They're
They're
leaning
in first
back.
class, first of all.
Oh, in first class.
I didn't
Okay.
think it was first class. I thought it was that first seat in regular class where you just have a little bit more space in the TV.
Typically, the
bulkhead.
TV isn't on the wall there. It folds out of the armrest in that seat
I've
on most
seen it
planes?
both ways.
Oh, really?
I've seen it both.
Really?
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Virgin,
Very cool. Very cool.
Virgin does it built
I love
into the
airplanes.
wall.
I love airplanes.
Do you guys take your shoes off on airplanes?
No.
Sometimes.
If it's a really
If it's a long
flight.
flight.
If I'm in first class, yeah.
Well,
Which
you know,
you've done twice.
in international flights, they'll often give you slippers,
Oh, that's luxury.
even just in economy.
That's
you
the
know.
thing, right? Your feet swell. Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Yes, your feet do swell. I mean, the blood when you sit for a long time, the blood goes all the way to your feet. So
And
you,
also the pressure.
doing calf raises is a good way to fight
Compression
it.
socks.
Or that, yeah.
Compression socks.
Speaking of compression,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just trying to make a segue.
How's that audio
How's-
sounding?
Audio sounding pretty good. There's
Things
been
aren't getting too hairy over there.
I've missed a moment or two. Surprisingly, the person with the most audio changes has been Eugene. When he gets excited, he gets louder.
True. He starts at a
Rare.
very soft place.
yeah,
too.
I'm a
That's
very
why, I think.
soft-spoken person generally.
Keith, you've been nice and easy the whole time, and I
Yeah,
haven't touched the
alright.
dial for Zach once. So I hope you've been
Wow.
able to hear me.
Yeah, it's been very loud the whole time.
Speaking of Harry, Zach,
Speaking of
tell us about
hairy
this
situations.
hair adventure you've been on that we've released
Hair.
videos about.
Yeah, so now it's been 3 months ago since I did this, but I just released some videos on our channel where I did a full hair restoration journey. So I've been balding now, which is weird. Even before these videos, I had a hard time saying that balding. I would say that my hair's thinning or my hairline's receding, but the word balding is so loaded. But now that I've kind of gone through this process, I can admit it. I can admit that I've been balding. So I did these 2 procedures that are really cool. I did one where I got this thing called scalp camouflage, where they put these tiny little tattoo dots on your scalp.
Is that the microblading?
I called it microblading. It's technically kind of like its own thing, but microblading is the best way to understand it because women do that for their eyebrows. And it's this vegan-based ink, and it dissolves in 5 years. So it just... As I'm taking...
That's how they get you.
Well, I'm taking a pill now.
Schedule a follow-up.
Yeah, right?
It should be made out of turkey
I'm
so that it doesn't dissolve. So that instead of
That's an
vegan-based,
Arby's callback.
it should be made out of turkey so that it stays there for a long time.
Well, it's the idea is that the pill that I'm on will make my hair thicker, and they'll cross, right? So as the ink fades, the medicine will make the hairs thicker again. Because I do have a lot of hairs in this region, but when you look under a microscope, they're just barely hanging on, itty little itty bitties. I learned so much about hair stuff, and I'll tweet a little thread about it by the time this comes out, because I think that it's the reason I made the videos. 1 is to get over this insecurity I have, but 2 is because it's such a taboo topic, and I think that people are afraid to talk about it, but balding is the number 1 insecurity among men. It is the most common plastic procedure among men, and just no one's talking about it at all.
And
It's funny, even when you said hair pills, in my head I was thinking like, oh yeah, they probably like make your boners worse, right?
There you go. Yeah.
So
So
I'm like, oh yeah, hair
yeah.
pills, that like decreases your libido, right?
So that is a possible side effect and something that a lot of people fear.
Because it reduces your testosterone to grow more hair.
And luckily, I should say I haven't had that side effect, but it is something that a lot of people like. And I know a lot of
I mean, my boners are fine.
my boners are fine.
definitely not experiencing that.
So the
dick is in high volume
Boners are fine. They're fine. My boners are okay. Boners are fine. Full head of hair, strong boners. Yeah, things you need to know about me.
listen up, Amazon Prime members.
For a limited time, you can start an Audible membership and save 66% on your first 3 months.
Whoa, a total of $30 off. That's like getting 3 months for the price of 1.
You will pay just $4.95 per month for the first 3 months. After that, it's only $14.95 per month.
Wow.
And you're gonna get so obsessed with books. You're gonna be like, I used to read like a dummy, but now I can listen like a champion.
Wow. Offer is valid from July 1st, 2019 through July 31st, 2019. That's basically all of July.
It is all of July.
I don't know why they didn't just write all of July,
of
but
2019.
well,
Audible is a wonderful company where you can listen to audiobooks. They've got speed control in Audible, so you can listen faster or slower depending on the narration speed that suits you. Have you ever had this? You're reading a book, you get to a great point, but then you got to get in your car and drive somewhere. There's Whisper Sync for voice, so you can switch back and forth between reading and listening the audiobook across devices, and it will save your place. That is so cool. Technology. Boom. Our book, The Hidden Power of Fucking Up, is on Audible. You can listen to it, and it's such a cool experience with an audiobook because you have us reading it to you. So it's all of these personal stories, and you get to hear us and how it affects us as we're reading it.
Yeah, if you're hearing this, that means you probably like listening to us. So definitely visit audible.com/TryGuys or text TryGuys to 500 500. Audible.com/TryGuys or text TryGuys to 500 500 to get started today.
The joke that I had going in was like, I could probably skim a little off the top. But I didn't know that if the severity of it could be bad. But I know now a couple people who are on this pill who didn't tell me until they learned that I was on it. And no one I know has experienced that side effect. So, it's a thing.
I think it's a good testament, too, to the fact that often people think with Try Guys that we're just like dudes who just do it. We just do everything. There's no like, I don't know, relatable qualms or insecurities that we actually genuinely have at this point about stuff. But like Zach's been on this hair journey since I met him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And has been in multiple stages of like extremely like strong denial about like not wanting to do this, pushing it back, saying like I should shave my head or I should do this. And this has been like 4 or 5 years us talking about this.
Well, I was afraid of this pill because of all the fear and misinformation about it. I was terrified of this surgery, of hair restoration surgery, because most things you know about it is like this: you get left with a big old scar. I did something. I now know there's a way to do it where you get no scar, right? And in general, I think it's hard to. Why are you smiling at no scar?
In my mind, I just went, you get a nice Mufasa, but no scar. Sorry, that's why I didn't say
joke.
it. I was like, that's not a good joke, but it's in my brain.
Mufasa.
Mufasa.
Well, it is topical.
Say it again, Mufasa. Anyway, and in general, it took a lot for me to admit it. So if you're at this place in your life, I suggest do something before it's too late, because I had to do this whole surgery because I denied it for 5 years. But also, it's crazy. Yeah, I'm still, before the video came out, I was like nauseous and terrified of the idea of putting this out to the world. And I thought about emailing you guys and telling you that I was going to cancel the video because it was just too raw.
Is it even after you made it?
This was between making it and seeing the edit. And then I saw the edit, which YB, who works with us, did an awesome job on it. And it just like, it's a really cool video because it's this thing where I open up about an insecurity, and instead of being all mopey about it, it's like, here's this thing that bothers me. I'm going to tell you all about it. Now I own it. You all know. We know. Let's fucking do something about it. Yeah. And I cannot recommend that enough. If there's something in your life, don't hide it. Make it like own it, and then choose to do something. Like, you can either own it by shaving your head in this case, or you can own it by doing something about it. But ignoring it is the only thing that will continue to be corrosive. Then the most exciting part, though, is that after the surgery, I had tons of inflammation. And if you go on my Instagram, you can see photos of me. I had this insane puffy face
My favorite.
for a full week. I don't even know how to describe it, but I looked like the bow in that Pixar short film.
Mm-hmm.
I looked totally unrecognizable.
You looked like in the Wachowskis film Cloud Atlas when they made the white actors Asian with prosthetics.
Yeah.
That's how your face looked.
It was crazy. So I woke up every morning and my eyes were partially swollen shut. And I have this sad photo on my phone where every morning I would use the selfie mode to be like, am I better? Oh no.
Of course not, because I think when you sleep, everything swells slightly, so it's going to always look the worst in the morning.
Yeah, and then during the day it would get slightly better, and then I would go to sleep and it would get worse again. But it was like that for a full 7 days, to the point that Maggie and I like had this moment of like, what if I never get better?
What if it's me now?
What if this is just my face?
It was so funny.
Yeah,
It's
was
the funniest you've
I
ever
did
looked.
appreciate getting the daily "How puffy is my face" updates.
It was very fun.
I came back to work after about a week, and I was like kind of in that in-between world, and I kept trying. I had to get on camera. Actually, if you go look at our book signing video, I'm still partially swollen in that, and I put my hood up
yeah.
so that you couldn't tell. But I got on camera, and we're like, you look pretty normal, and then we filmed it, and we would look at the footage and went, oh no.
Yeah, we tried to cut as little of Zach as possible into that video.
Yeah, it was pretty surreal.
Yeah, but if you're a young guy out there who knows that your family has a history of balding, then just like check it out. I mean, there's no too early a time to start.
Or a young girl. A lot of these techniques
Young girl
can be
too, yeah.
used for both genders.
So much of everything is preventative, and if you really need to do something, you can start like in middle school or high school. Like,
and if finasteride is not an option for you, there's minoxidil, there's biotin, there's a ton of stuff that you can do, and I'm grateful that I got on it when I did. But even still, I would have been better admitting this. We're all on our journey.
Yeah, it's just crazy that it's like number 1 or number 2 of the most insecure
more than dick
things
size.
that men worry about is
men would
is
rather have
hair loss
a little old dick.
than
I
reduced hair.
because everybody's got just a huge dick. So nobody's.
The other one men worry about is height.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You didn't write about that in the book, or did you?
Which one?
Balding. Just.
I wrote one little side panel about it. And what's interesting is that I wrote it and then I rewrote it because in between writing the book and the final publishing of the book is when I decided that I was still in between. So at the time of finishing the book, I thought I was going to just shave my head.
Wow.
And so I wrote kind of an homage to like, I might do something about this. But I did write it as my biggest insecurity. And I wish that, hey, if we write a second book, I got more to write about.
Yeah.
But here's another thing that was crazy from this process. I always was convinced that I had to shave my head entirely to get this surgery. But that's not necessarily true, depending on how the level of...
I had to get that tight fade and look hot.
Yeah, I had to just look super hipster, and people thought I was having an identity crisis. So,
Yeah, Zach, it's just so silly looking back because you really had nothing to worry about. You're such a beautiful person.
My God.
You really should have been more. You really should have been more worried about your personality.
Oh, hey, there it is.
Wow.
There it is.
Boom. Fix that, baby. Speaking of fixing.
Got him.
Speaking of fixing. Seems like Ned and Ariel run around fixing some places, interior design. Tell us more about that.
We just launched this big series. It's called Try DIY, where we encourage our friends to try DIY. We make over their houses. Using the power of DIY to save money. So the first episode just came out. It featured Keith and Becky's shame room.
Yeah, shameful.
They called it the shame. They literally called it the room of shame.
I imagine
shameful.
that's a room where you go to do the naughty things you don't tell the rest of the world.
Shame room.
No, but there's like Keith was collecting, it was actually quite interesting. I can't quite call it junk, but for all intents and purposes, it was their junk room, their stuff room, their extra
memorabilia and stuff that we just didn't know what to do with.
And it was kind of like your art closet in a way.
Kind of. Well,
Yeah.
we don't have a lot of storage in our home,
Yeah.
and we don't have a storage unit. So basically, like, okay, well, we've got this chair that we like but don't want to get rid of, but there's no room for it. And then we've got these things, these old things from when I did sketch stuff in Chicago that like I have an emotional attachment to.
It's very relatable, and not just because I had to do the exact same thing in my episode that you'll see next week.
Because everyone's junk room typically has the stuff like a present from the in-laws or blank. But when you're with an artist, it goes into a territory that's just inexplicable. I have a samurai helmet in mine.
Yeah.
I have like crazy like paintings that I made that I forgot. Like,
and you know what?
why I
There's
made
a little
them.
pear with a monocle in Keith's.
I love that.
Sounds very Keith.
Well, creative people
Dude.
also, so you have the stuff that has like you have an emotional attachment to, then you also have the things of one day I'll film with this.
See, that's the thing. I spent so many years doing cheap improv comedy and sketch comedy in Chicago that like every article of clothing will have its time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what
And
I always
if I
think.
throw it away, the next week is when I'm
I'm
going to
need it.
And
right?
then you have to buy it.
Then I have to buy it, and I have to go. Not only buy it, I have to spend time to go get it.
But the reality, though, and I think what Ned's series does a good job of showing is that that's not conducive to a good living environment. And so how do you, make a home and keep the things that are important and valuable? So it's a really cool
and
series.
It's like part hoarders, part fixer-upper.
Yeah.
And it
Lumbery
really
condo.
is. Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, if you haven't seen the video yet, you should go watch it because it really did take a room that was a huge burden in our home emotionally, and now it's like one of the most utilized rooms in our home. Like we spend a lot of we
It's a good
actually
room.
Really?
spend time. Oh yeah, we spend time all the
yay.
time. So Becky gets ready in the morning there, and I'll like be doing my emails in the morning
Oh
in
my
there. So we're
God.
like, and it has a lot of natural light.
Where are they now?
So it like it's like a very energizing room, whereas our living room doesn't get a lot of natural light. So even after work, sometimes we spend the first couple hours after work in that
nice.
room,
I love to hear that.
God.
having wine and hanging out, and then we move to the dark living room.
Wait, so it's Try DIY, which means that you, Ned and Ariel, you make them make something.
Yes, we
That's what's
give
unique,
them
right?
instructions, and then we leave the room and let them figure it out.
How was that? Did you make something?
Oh, I screamed a lot because they left us with just not enough tools to do it easily.
Yeah.
That's fun
So
to watch.
it very much created a very enraged
very
Keith.
upset.
I was like, how am I supposed to know if this is level if I don't have the thing it's supposed to be compared to in this moment? What if I'm doing a nightmare and also I can't even get it level to itself?
You know what? Things around the home, like not only interior design, but even just like setting up a TV, just give me a different type of rage.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's not like
bullshit.
messing up a dish when you're cooking. It's very particular type of rage where you feel like you're permanently messing something up.
Yes.
I don't know
Because
how
then
to
you're gonna
describe
have to
it.
walk by it every single day.
Yeah.
Okay,
Also, you
so
want it to be perfect.
my living
Yeah.
room, the floors are slanted slightly. So if you use a leveler, it doesn't fucking matter. You have to do it by the eye test. I just upgraded my TV after about 7 years. So this is the first new TV I've owned. Ned talked me in again, the big boy TV. It's pretty fucking dope, but it's one of those that's like razor thin, and I'm afraid that if I touch it incorrectly, it will break. And it, in fact, tells you when you take it out of the box, do not put your hands on this. Yeah. And Maggie, my girlfriend, wants me to mount the TV. I don't want to mount the TV.
Oh, yeah, you should totally mount it.
Yeah, you can
No,
mount
no,
it.
I want to mount it. I don't want to be the one to mount it.
yeah,
I told her, have you heard of TaskRabbit? I can pay someone $40 to come over and do this for me.
But what if they break your TV?
Then TaskRabbit will cover it with insurance. Whereas if I do it, it's going to take over an hour of my time. We're going to yell at each other. I might break it. My back is going to hurt. You know what? I would pay $100 to avoid that.
Yo, why don't
bullshit.
you just pay the three of us $100?
Because she
We'll
won't
do it
let
for
me.
you.
She won't let me do it.
Yeah.
But
I
we're
mean,
gonna do
mounting
it.
TV is not too hard.
It's a heavy TV.
I hated mounting a TV.
Putting the mount up was the difficult part.
Yeah.
But putting the actual TV on the mount isn't.
And then
too
also you gotta
Yeah.
drop the cables
I am
through the wall.
chronically weak.
I love dropping.
I
the
love
cables
dropping
through
cables to the wall.
Oh,
I
it's
hate
so
it because
exciting.
I want
punching the hole in.
I have my
Yeah.
switch,
Yeah.
right? And my switch has to be detached and reattached every time I go on cool
Oh,
trips.
that's
if I take my
annoying.
dock, so I can't be running cables through the
No,
wall
that's
every
true.
time I go
That's
somewhere.
true, but you can get second HDMI cable.
Yeah, I got to get a second fucking AC adapter for the Switch
Yeah.
too. And you know it's a specialized one, so you know it's going to be $40 just for that fucking plug.
Going back to hoarding, what is the one, I know yours, Keith, but Eugene maybe, what's the one weirdest thing that you've been holding on to that's in your house right now?
My full Rita Repulsa costume from two Halloweens ago. I'm not going to throw it away.
No, you can't.
But I have that and a full Mulan costume. I just have tons of costumes because I not only
And those
do
take
weird
up a
things for
lot of
videos.
space.
Yeah, they take up a ton of space. I also have like all of the drag. So I don't borrow drag anymore since I do it more often now. I actually have purchased and made my own drag stuff. So that takes up
you have
pretty
a
much
drag
half a
closet?
I have partially a drag closet. I've been collecting my own drag items, which includes titties,
Oh yeah, you have to have like
bootay,
cool
hips. I have
titties and stuff.
lots and lots of heels now, but they aren't used daily. So it's just lots of fake boobies sitting around. Which if you walk in the closet, you'd be very shocked at how much how many.
Titillating.
You know,
Oh, nice, Keith.
when you have titties in your closet, sometimes it's hard to store them, and you might need some advice. Dare I say, advice
Wait,
that will go
he's not here.
for Miles. Yeah, but normally at this point in the podcast, we let Miles give advice for everybody, and it's really stupid. He's not here today, so you guys just want to make something up.
Sure.
Maybe we'll do
We'll
do like, did you ever blank? And then we'll just add
Okay.
on and we'll land on Keith.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna
You gotta
round.
get to- you take like a sentence or a sentence and a half.
Yeah, it's
or
like
so.
that game in.
It's like one word at a time, but a little more coherent.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So Ned, start us off. This is advice that will go for Miles without your host,
Miles
Bonsignore. Okay. So what was it, Ned?
What's up, Miles Nation? How y'all feeling tonight? Do you want to be a big, strong boy with a lawn that's as luscious as your hair?
Get a old-fashioned push mower.
Don't even think that you can take a modern riding mower like a crazy person and achieve the look and feel of that old-fashioned goodness.
Here's what you're gonna do, people. You're gonna push the lawnmower. You're gonna get some kids and make them do it for you. It's gonna teach them discipline. Then you're gonna take the grass clippings and tape them on your hair. You don't need an expensive surgery. Grass. It's hair that's green. It's stylish. All your hipster friends are going to be jealous.
And guess what? No gas, no batteries to charge. Just good old-fashioned American muscle.
It's good for the environment, and it's good for your baby's breathing air if you have a baby. Also, some models can be made out of animals, like Arby's does.
And if you really want to go old-fashioned, might I suggest investing in oxen? Get a couple oxen and a big plow and just fuck up your lawn so you don't have to worry about grass ever again. And plant yourself some merit carrots.
Wow, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I miss Miles.
Yeah,
You know?
I thought we had some good moments.
That's
in there.
very good.
You know what?
Very
That actually
good.
makes me think of video ideas using like boomer previous to boomer years tech.
Yeah.
Like what is that?
Even just like first edition.
First editions of things that we take for
Right,
granted, like a
like-
first edition lawnmower. What did that look like?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
the
really
original patent.
interesting. Oof, yeah, that would be tough.
We were at VidCon hanging out with Mark Rober this weekend, who does all these awesome engineering videos. He did the glitter prank
Right,
where
wow.
someone
Yeah,
stole
that was great.
packages. But we were talking to him. Could he take like an old Nokia phone and turn it into a smartphone, which I think would be super dope. I don't know how that works.
Me neither. But this has been fun. It's been good to touch on all these things. We're about to go back on the road. So if you still have not seen us, we've got 4 shows in Texas. We've got a show in Atlanta, New York, DC, and Boston. But you can't go
And-
to Boston.
and
'cause it's
Philly.
sold out. And Philly.
Final night in
Ending
Philly.
yeah.
TRYGUYS.com/tour for tickets.
And it'll be
They're
great.
gonna be so good. Like anyone who's seen the show can tell you that this show kicks ass, and we have only been using each and every show to make it tighter, make it tauter, make it tougher. We're just having so much fun, and it's such a special thing that we get to do. We want to share it with you. You gotta be there. Get the merch, get the book, come see us on tour. We're having so much fun. This has been the TryPod. We'll talk to you next week. Until next time, Keith, hit us with the official TryPod theme song.
Ooh, you've got to turn your meat into a vegetable treat. TryPod.
Until next time, stay beautiful.
Bye, Pesto.
Bye, Pesto.
I think I fucking crushed it with the sound.
Yeah, hope so.
Oh, God. Comment below.